I'm gonna just start, and hopefully people will find me, even though I'm a little bit early. So this is the second part of the sew along for the Amelia jacket, which is a sew over it pattern, one that I designed a few years ago, and they've just brought it out in the extended sizes, I believe. So everyone can get one now, all sizes. And in part one, we got up to, well, I've now pinned this zip on, but we got up to this stage. So we did do quite a lot actually, given that I was waffling and we had like an hour. So if you're finding this before you're finding part one, there is a part one. So go back and check it out. And we're probably gonna have a part 3, because today what I'd like to do is put the zip in with you and then attach the facing. And then after that, I think we can do the majority then we can maybe put the lining in ourselves, but come back for the cuff, which is very specific for the jacket. And there's like the elastics at the cuffs there. So that's what I'm hoping we're going to do today. So we're going to put the this in and then put the facing in. Anyway, let's see. Oh, hi Celia. Let's see who's joining before we start. Oh, Celia, remind me where you live. I feel like it's Scandinavia somewhere, but I can't quite remember if it's Sweden or Denmark. I do try and remember all these things for those of you when you say Denmark. At least I got it. It was one of those two. Who else is joining us tonight? Let's see how international we can be tonight. Hi there. Hi, Catherine. Just for those of you that are watching this after the live, all the information is in the description box in terms of the pattern you can buy. Also the link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, which is now, I managed to change it to Buy Me a Cup of Tea. Yep, whoop, whoop. Very expensive one, £5 for a cup of tea. Hi, Vanessa. Hello. Lisa's live. Yes, she is. Sussex. Hello, Jackie. You're in England. Wonderful. So, yeah, should we get started? Let's get started. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, guys, as you're joining. That's really good because more people then find me and find out that I'm back. Someone's in Texas. Exciting. I'm glad you appreciated me back. I just put actually a message up on my stories on Instagram just to say how I was looking at the comments on my Buy Me a Coffee page, and it was just so heartwarming, and how lovely the community has been about welcoming me back, and yeah, really, really lovely. So yeah. Let's get sewing. That's what we're here to do. Less of the waffle, Lisa. Now, I have gone ahead and I have pinned my zip because, I don't know if it was the last sew along I was talking about this, I can't remember, but I definitely have that kind of brain where I have to really think about lefts and rights and all. What was I making that I needed to do a yoke thing? What did we make? Oh, it was the Alice top. If you watched that so long, you'll know what I mean. What I was like, oh, I had to really think. Anyway, I wanted to pin the zip in before I saw you, just because I just didn't want to get confused on a live. And I just thought, you know what, Lise, just do it. You're not Superwoman. Everyone finds certain things difficult when it comes to sewing. And one thing I find difficult is getting my head into things like zips, making sure they're on the right side. So, however, if you are using this video to sew along and make it, if you are using it for the actual thing, then I just want to explain what I've done. I have cut my long zip. Now, these are metal zips, so it seems scary to cut them, but you can. I actually used some of my floristry scissors because I thought I don't care if they get a bit damaged, because these are they get damaged on the field all the time. And I want to say that, hi Christine, I want to say that it's so easy, so don't be scared. Look, famous last words. Oh, off it goes, very easy. So, but very final as well. Obviously this is the end of the zip, that's why I'm cutting it. So make sure you're absolutely sure. So in the instructions it says measure the front here from the top to there, and then you need to add 2.5 centimetre seam allowance extra onto the zip, and that is because, or sorry, minus the seam allowance. So you measure from the top bit there to there, and they tell you to do that rather than measuring the pattern in case you've made any lengthening or shortening adjustments. And then you trim your zip down by 2.5 centimetres, and that's 1 centimetre for the top neckline seam allowance and 1.5 centimetres for the bottom there. So you trim it down to that, and then you pin it in place. Now it's a bit annoying because that one looks like it's a bit longer. I don't understand how that's possible, but it does. I might have to shorten that one a bit. So here, let's show you. I've pinned it face down. The teeth are 1.5 centimetres from this edge here. And can you see what I've done there with the top of the zip, just so that when it's finished, that's out the way. So I've put my pins upright so that they are going to be easy to take out as I sew. And I've done the same on the other side. And then, yeah, it's finishing this, so the metal teeth are finishing 1 centimetre below that top neckline edge and 1.5 centimetres on this side, on the bottom. However, I've just had a look here and it does look like that one is a little bit out. I think, or maybe it was because it twisted there. I'm just going to cut one of the teeth off. Oh, I'm scared to do that because I did cut them exactly. I'll just cut one off. See what happens. Might have a bit ballsed it up. Hopefully not. Thing is though, with these metal zips is you do not want to be sewing into them at any point because you will break your needle. So we don't want to be doing that. I have to say, actually, I'm really pleased with this angle. I'm thinking I might need to put like, I don't want to put a permanent thing on my nice stone floor, but I want to put some kind of mark on there to show myself the position, because isn't this good? And I was trying to put a something to cover that, but actually it's quite nice. It's not too off-putting, is it? So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. A little comment there. Right. So we've pinned the zip, so it's face down, right side down. So the right side of the zip has gone down onto the right side of the fabric. We're going to then put a concealed zip foot, not a concealed zip foot. No, Lisa, no. A regular zip foot. This one. I'm going to put that on. And we're going to move it across. Because I've still not got that many handmade things in my wardrobe. I feel really bad that when I've been doing these sew-alongs, I've not even been wearing anything handmade. But we're building the wardrobe, aren't we, guys? And it's also cold in the evenings. But, oh, just pulled my hair out. We're building the wardrobe together. And so gradually, I guess, as I do more of these, I'll start to have more handmade things I can wear with you. Right, let's get that foot pedal in the right position. We need to move our needle across. I have to say, if I was sewing without you guys here, I definitely would have my glasses on. But if I put them on, and these are just some cheapies. I do have posh ones, but I haven't changed the prescription in them. And I've realised since I've been over, since I'm over 40, 42 now, I have noticed that my eyes, well, one, I won't be able to see you. Maybe I could do it like that. Is that quite annoying for you? But my eyes, I really struggle to see, especially in the dark. I like to have these on. But maybe I'm going to try and do it like that and then see it, move them out of the way. Because I certainly, when I've got them on like that, I can't really see what the comments are. Anyway, waffling as always. Right, let's start. Oh, I've put the needle on the wrong side. So the needle needs to be on the relative side. If you've got, it's not everyone's got these presser foots, but it needs to be on the side where the groove, so the one side will be one thing and the other side will be on the other, one side of the zip you'll have it on one side of the foot, and on the other you'll change the needle position. So I'm going to lower the presser, foot here. I'm just going to leave them on the end of my nose as though I was a teacher, and then maybe I need to get like one of those gold chains, although they are getting them in like a kind of tortoise shelly things. I've seen them, they're quite glamorous, aren't they? I did think maybe I should sort of do that because it's very annoying having to do this, looking down and looking up all the time. Right, okay. We are sewing with 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Now, if you wanted to tack this in by hand, you can. But if you remember, one thing I'm not a big fan on is too many steps. And I'm confident enough that I'm just going to go in there. I've pinned it really well. So if you've pinned it well, you've got your pins going up towards the top of the jacket, so towards the neckline, and then they'll be easy to take out. So away we go. Glasses are on. I think I got these from Sainsbury's, these glasses. Very good. £20 or something. But I do need to go back to Specsavers and just get a proper prescription done. Most definitely. Right, here we go. So the fabric edge is on 1.5 centimetre, 5/8 of an inch. Well, it's just in from that actually, to be fair, because the teeth are on that, and I obviously don't want to be sewing the teeth. I can't sew right on the teeth, so I'm just like a couple of millimetres on. Take my pins out as I get to them, using my hands just to really hold that down as well. Oopsie. Okay, we're coming to the end. And this is when I'm going to regret cutting that extra little tooth off, isn't it? Because I'm going to think, oh, actually, it's in the right position now. Oh, this was the other side, it's fine. This was the other side. Right, let's do our nice reversey-wersey. Make sure that's all secure. I was about to lean to use those to cut my threads, but no. I've got these from lovely Lucy from Sew Essential. She sent me them over a year ago after... It was after... you're welcome, Sue. She sent me these from Sew Essential after the sew along, not the sew along, sorry, the big sew off. So you know I still do the big sew off every year with Sew Over It, because that was a charity event that I set up. I was like, I always want to be involved in that, even if I'm not sewing through the night for 24 hours. And anyway, everyone turns up that sews with me, and they come with all their kit anyway, and I just didn't have any good snips, so I was using the snips at the new craft house, and I was like not enjoying each, you know when you've got little snips and you really enjoy how they work, and they just weren't. Anyway, bless her, she sent me these as well as some thread from, I didn't know this existed. Oh my gosh, I was like, where have I been? Hi, Carmen. This is stretchy Gutterman thread. I was like, did they have that like 3 years ago when I was still sewing? Oh, probably, but I was never really kind of into the kind of geeky technical-y stuff of sewing, and you know, if you remember, I only discovered the rolled edge foot with you guys in the first sew-alongs in lockdown. Anyway, but it's amazing, that thread, because of course when you're sewing jersey you can have extra stretch in your stitch. Right, that's it done there. Now, one thing I'm not too happy about is I did come out and in there. Is that going to matter? No. Okay, there we go. So it's stitched there, and we're going to press it after we've done the other side. There it looks, that's how it's going to look. So let's do the other side and then we'll press. Now, Coco has removed herself from the ironing board. She was on it earlier. But where is she now? Coco? I don't know where she's gone. She's gone somewhere. Probably because I don't know where she normally doesn't like to get off the ironing board. It's her favourite thing when I put it up. Okay, right, so here we go. We're going. Oh, did I reverse? Do you remember if I reversed? I don't think I did. I'm reversing now. Nah. Okay, we're reversing. We're lining up on the other side. This is a bit more awkward, I should say, because we've got all of the jacket bunched up there. But it's doable, because for me, I'm making a size 12, so there's not that much fabric there, but also we've not got the sleeves on, so it's not too bulky. I keep forgetting to message Rosie and ask her for the Peggy trousers. I must do that. The Peggy trousers and also the ultimate trousers, because I wanted to make both of those. And I think I said in my last sew along on Sunday that I'm going to do the Peggy trousers for you guys. But yeah, I think that's next on the list. Whether I'll do that on Sunday, I'm not sure. I'd like to do it on Sunday, but I have got Jazzy this weekend, and I just need to check what we're doing. I sort of feel like if I've given her enough, we've done enough stuff together, then I don't feel so guilty about doing something work related for an hour, because she actually needs downtime on her own as well. So yeah, just need to check a couple of things. And as always, lastminute.com, I'll pop it up on Instagram, probably on Friday. I know I can't do Friday or Thursday this week, so it would have to be Sunday afternoon. I have to say, I'm quite enjoying the Sunday afternoon sew-alongs. Sort of a bit more relaxed, but I definitely, well, not relaxed, these are all relaxed, aren't they? But I definitely like the idea of doing a speedy sew then, something quite simple. Yeah, I guess we're going to run out of speedy things though, aren't we? Right, let's trim that. Trim that. Okay. Let's trim this one off, and then we're going to press. Right, let's pull the ironing board to me. If you were watching on Sunday, you'll be pleased to know that I've now got the heating back. Very lovely man came and fixed my heating, my boiler. So my boiler had a leak. So it had like the thread in the boiler was dripping, and it was leaking. I just had, my boiler's in there because I live in a 2-bed cottage. It's really quite a small cottage, and upstairs, so the boiler's in the loft, and there was always a bucket underneath the boiler, and it was dripping into it. Well, I don't know at what point the leak was there. Certainly when I last went up there, it doesn't seem to have a leak, but I guess it'd always been there, that bucket, so I just thought, oh, it's useful to have a bucket there, so I left it. Anyway, the boiler then started leaking, whether that was related to cold frost we had well, I don't know, a few days ago, or just the connection got loose and it started dripping. Anyway, it filled the bucket up, and I sleep underneath where it was dripping, and it started to overflow. I had none the wiser, and then it started dripping through the ceiling, through into my wardrobe. That was something I was most upset about, but it was fine. Only a couple of coats kind of took the most of it, and it was just like a slowly drip, 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 drip. Anyway, he's fixed it now, but yeah, it was just annoying. And then of course, you know, I didn't have any heating, but I did enjoy. I like the fact that wherever I go, I can do a sew-along. I just feel like I'm now like thinking, oh my gosh, should there be like a Lisa sew-along tour? Where do I go? And we'll do my sew-alongs for them. Love that idea. Right, okay. Waffling over, let's do some pressing. What if I put that on blue? I don't want that on blue, I want it on green. Oops, no, not red. So heat setting about 2 or 3. So we're going to ideally use a pressing cloth, which I'm now thinking, oh gosh, I don't have one, but I think we should really, because we don't want to press onto the front of the wall there. So excuse me, sorry. Oh, you would have been upset. Yeah, it was distressing. And these are the things, like I kind of, you know, I do live on my own now, and I've lived on my own obviously before, but this particular cottage is quite old. In fact, it's listed, so it was built in 1860. This is an extension, this kitchen, but the rest of it's quite old, 1867 or something. And it's just the upkeep of all of this is just, so much when you're on your own. And it's just the sort of thing when these things happen and you're like, I find it really hard, because it's like, you know, if you share a place with somebody else, you you share the burdens together, both financially, but more just the stress of it. Anyway. Right, okay, so we are going to tuck that in, press it so that we can see, I'm going to have to stand up, press it so that you can see the teeth, so sort of finger press that, and then pressing it from this side. We are going to put the facing on next, so this isn't the kind of final press, but it's just to sort of pull those teeth out and then just check that everything aligns. Because if you do need to change it, you want to change it now before you sandwich that zip in between the facing. So what we'll do is we'll press both sides. Oh, I haven't bashed it. I meant to bash it, aren't I? Get my wooden spoon out. And then just do this side. So as you can see, I'm using my tea towel as a pressing cloth. Oh, everyone's so chatty tonight. Oh, it's lovely to see. Chatty chat chat. So love it when I see you guys all chatting. It just makes it feel like we're a little gang. Oh God. Excuse me. Okay. That's there we go. I did just cheat then and got rid of the pressing cloth. But so now this is how it's looking. Can you see the zip? Oh, it's lovely. Right, let's get the zip pull. Thread it on. Just throw pins everywhere. Thread it on and just check. Why are all these pins flying everywhere? I don't have enough pins at the moment, so I certainly can't be wasting a pin on the floor. So we're going to put these bad boys together. Oh God. I did check this earlier because I was worried about doing this as well live. I was thinking, God, what if I've done that wrong? But I did check that I had put it on. Because actually when you cut the bottom off, it's quite hard to tell. It's quite hard to close it. I don't think I'm going to do it now, am I? No, I am, but they're not straight. Talk amongst yourselves, guys. It's very annoying, this. So you haven't got that bit on the bottom. I probably should have shortened the top, shouldn't I, stupid girl? Why didn't you do that, Lisa? Should have taken it off the top. Oh, God. Sometimes I do worry about myself. Not thinking these things through. There we go. Oh, it's lovely at the top though. Perfect. Hoping that's really stupid thing to do, that you should shorten it from the top. I don't know why I didn't do that. I didn't think about that. It's been a while. But hopefully that will still be okay. It's just going to be a faff, isn't it, every blooming time? Is that going to be all right? Oh no. Yeah, because that's just going to fall off, isn't it, every blooming time? Need to think about that. Maybe what I'll do is I will on one side, because what side do we normally, whichever side we normally keep the zip on, I will just stitch across there by hand so that that's not going to fly off and it will stay in position, and then I'll be able to put it on. But yeah, it was a bit of a stupid thing to do that. Wasn't thinking. Make sure you shorten your zip from the top, not the bottom. Anyway, it's all fine, it's all fine. We're reminding myself of things. After saying sewing is like riding a bike. Just get back on it, you remember everything. Apparently not. Right, okay, so facing. Let's do that now. So I have gone ahead and I have joined my facing. So I haven't actually interfaced the facing purely because I don't have any interfacing left that's long enough and I forgot to order some. But I think that this wool will be absolutely fine. It's a really nice stable wool, so I'm not too worried about it. So I've joined it here, right sides together. And now we're going to pin it in position. So, just trying to think, let's put that. How are we going to do this? Let's think what's the easiest way. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Okay, so still can't believe I've done that with the zip. What a numpty. Oh gosh. So I'm just pinned that bit there, the corner there at the centre front, and then we've got the shoulder seams to line up with. That's annoying. That is making a very annoying noise. That pinned, and then we've got the other shoulder seam there to line up. Dum dum dum. There's a lot of bulk here, but we did grade the seam allowances of the collar when we stitched it on, so I'm hoping that we're going to be all right here. Not too much bulk, as much bulk left as there was. Just filling those in. Then here we've got the same there. And then coming down the front. So coming down the front, you want to, even though we've pressed it, sort of tucked it back in, you want to pull it back round again. And you're just laying, you're sandwiching the zip in between the facing and the jacket. And I'm just going to change these, I'm going to make sure these pins are going this way. Now the seam allowance when we sew this is going to be 1 centimetre even down this edge here, because we'll press it in. Will mean that we kind of press the seam kind of over. And that's that. And I will start here and I'll do that, and then I'll come back and do this bit. So I don't want to be sewing up on that side, I want to be coming down always. That's really important. You don't want to be kind of creating drag up one side and drag down the other side. You want to have even drag if there's any drag at all on the fabric. Okay. I don't know if it said to understitch this. It would be good to understitch, but I don't know if there's so much bulk. Yeah, I haven't actually got the instructions with me tonight because I was reading them quite a lot thoroughly before, and I thought, you know, I'll remember all that. I don't need to reference them. I think it'd be okay. I'll see how it presses. Okay, if you were making this though in a finer fabric, you might need to understitch it, but anyway, I'll talk about that at that point. My head's racing on ahead. Now, I'm going to keep the zip foot on, actually, I should say that, because I want to be able to, mind you, is that going to, yeah, I just don't want it to be, let's see. Actually, no, with a centimetre it should be fine. Should be okay with my foot. I'm going to put that back on. It will help me keep to the right seam allowance if I have this one on anyway. So let's start. So I'm starting at the corner here, and I'm going to go around that neckline first, and then we're going to pivot and go down one side. So lining up with the 10 or 3/8 of an inch, 1.5 centimetres. Come on. Right, we've got a bit of bulk here, but that's just where the zip tape was folded back on itself. So I tell you, there's a lot of layers here, and it being wool, it is very thick. You definitely want to be sewing with about a 3 millimetre stitch length. It's not 3 millimetres though, I always think that. It's not actually 3 millimetres, but you know what I mean, a stitch length of 3. I never think it is. I remember us looking into this at Sew Over, and I can't remember what we found out about what the stitch length point was. So still on the neckline here. Just checking all the time as I go. I'm hopefully not catching anything, and that I'm keeping those seam allowances at the shoulders pressed open. Missing pin then. Okay, we're coming up now to the corner, so I'm going to stop. This is when it's really good that we've definitely, you're a bit tense because you're hoping you have measured 1 centimetre from the top of the teeth. I have though, so it's fine. Needle's going in 1 centimetre before this front edge, and then we're pivoting round. And down we go. I am really using my fingers to help keep this in place because I'm sort of doing that motion either side of the foot, or before the foot, but I thought I heard my bobbin running out then. I was like, I'm not having that, Mr. Bobbin. Now that, just thought, oh yeah, it's come off. The zip pull, move it out the way. I'm going to go back and sew that because it was pushing me because I didn't have the zip foot on. It was at the point when I hit the zip pull, it could have done with the zip foot. But if that's the case, as you're coming up to it, put your needle in, push it up behind, and sorry, I missed that comment. I'll have a look after. And yeah, move it out the way. So put your needle in, lift at the presser foot, move the zip pull out the way, and then you can carry on. You don't have to do what I just did and stop and start. Go all the way to the end. Even though we have, yes, perfect. Oh, I'm pleased with that. I think I will do some understitching. Right, let's do this one now. So, I'm just going to cut that tape there so I can see where my seam allowance is. That's it. So on the 10 on the other side. So we're just going straight down here. So we've already done that neckline. So this is just the other straight front edge I wanted to do so that I wasn't dragging up from the other direction. Always with sewing you want to work from the top to the bottom, so go from the top of the garment down towards the hem, and the logic behind that is that any discrepancies are less important down at the hem. If something's stretched or isn't quite lining up, it's a lot easier to fix, and it's going to be a lot less noticeable than it would be at the top. There we go. Right. I'm going to cut that corner off there, just a little bit. I don't want to cut too much. And then I'm going to, we're not going to be able to understitch all the way up there, but I'm going to now start on from the hem upwards. I'm going to understitch the facing to the seam allowance. just to help keep that sitting on the inside. So when I understitch, I usually line up the seam with the middle of my foot, and then I move my needle. And that's a lot easier guideline to be following. Than sort of finding lining up with a different part of the foot and not moving the needle. This is much easier. So we generally don't press before we understitch. We understitch first. So it does mean you're going to have to sort of pull the fabric up, open it up like that in order to stop you from sort of stitching a kind of curve, a little roll in. The idea is this is going to help everything sit flatter. So you need to pull it apart. Okay, get as far as you can. And then let's trim that. Right, we're now going into the neckline. I'm going to do that separately. So neckline is a lot more bulk because there's a very, very bulky seam there. So let's go in it from this way and then slide across. So I went in from the collar side and then slid across, and that way I'm pushing the seam allowance into the direction I want it to go. And I've got my same guideline here, really checking that all that seam allowance is to the right. And we're stitching the facing down onto the seam allowance. You might want to go slowly here, because if you've got a bulky fabric like mine and you come at it really fast, you're going to risk breaking that needle when you hit the shoulder seams. You're also potentially going to need to pull it from the back there, which I'm finding, because it's just so much fabric to get through a domestic machine. If you had a industrial machine, it would be fine, but the pressure, the presser foot and the strength of the teeth, I'm getting really dizzy using these. I have to take them off. Now I can't see that. Varifocals, here I come, eh? How are we doing for time? Been so lost in the sewing tonight. We're doing fine. This is what I wanted to do tonight. We're almost there, so. Okay, I'm getting to another bulky bit. So I'm just going to pull it from there. Okay, and then again, we're not going to be able to go quite right up to it, but we'll go as far as we can. It's basically the little corner that you won't be able to get into, but you should be able to do up to the end of the collar. Okay, cut those off. I haven't cut that corner off yet, so I'm just going to do that. Put my thumb over the stitching so that I don't accidentally do that. And then we'll come up from this side. So we're going to move the needle over because we're going to come up from the hem for this other side. Now bobbin, do not even think about running out. Got a bit of difference there. I'm just going to trim that off the facing. There's a little bit of extra there. Have you heard me? I don't want to see any bit of running out. Thank you very much. So lining up, this time I've got the seam still on that groove there, moving the needle over to the left. A little bit of a reverse, and then this is when we really have to pull it apart. The more I think about this zip, the more I'm like, Lisa, you numpty. Because what's going to happen is that's going to fray, isn't it, that bottom edge? And then it's going to get harder for me to get the zip in. Before you know it, I'll be blooming replacing the zip. I wonder if I can take that off. Yeah, I wonder if I got some pliers, although I wouldn't have that end bit, would I? I don't know if I could ply that on. It looks like it's just been plied onto the tape. And that bit. I'll have a go. If I can get it off. I've got some jewellery pliers and that might work. Right, I'm actually coming back to that zip pull, so I'm just going to push that past. I put my needle in and I've just pulled it out the way there. Oh, there we go. Oh, wonderful. Right, so that can now get pushed out. Do a bit of teasing to get that out. But that can get pushed out, top of the jacket there. And the same here. Push that bad boy out. Woo! And then we can press it, and then shall I try it on for you? Yes. Yes. You didn't reply in time quick enough, but I'm going to. Right, so we're going to go back to pressing it now. Because we've understitched it, the facing is sitting where it should, but let's just give it a nice press. You've given up on me, haven't you, whilst I was sewing that? Through the pressing cloth. And then here. Lovely. Right, let me show you that. That's how it's looking at the back. That's how it's looking at the front. And this is how it's looking on me. So remember, I made a size 12, which I believe is a good idea, given that I want to wear chunky jumpers underneath it. So I've gone up. I'm normally a 10. And this is going to, let's just see if I can close it. Oh, Lisa. This is going to be the bane of your life. Every time you want to close this jacket, you're like, oh, hang on a sec, I'm coming. I just need to faff around with this jacket because I've blooming well shortened it the wrong direction. Yeah, this is not going to work. Like, part of me is like, am I going to have to change this zip? It's going to drive me mad. Oh, well, I'm glad I've done it and not you. There we go. Bum ba da dum. Yay! There we go. We're forming a jacket. So next week on Tuesday we will finish it. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sleeves in. There's nothing particularly snazzy about that. I am going to go and put the lining in because I know there's probably, you know, but maybe when we do another jacket together I'll show you how I do the lining. So let's put the lining in, put the sleeves in, and we'll come back and do the band, the cuffs, because that's specific to the Amelia jacket. I'm going to now probably swear and try and put that back on my zip. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I'll see you soon. Stay tuned on Instagram and I'll tell you when I'm going to next do one.